So, Trey, when doing a podcast, would you say it is important or not important? Or just what would you say if I were to tell you that you should probably turn on your audio before you start a podcast? Would you say that's probably a fair, judgment?
Yeah, that's fairly important.
Fairly important, right?
Yeah, fairly important.
Well,
Although it would be pretty funny if we just did an episode without saying anything.
like a whole episode, and
Whole
like
episode.
I sounded like a Charlie Brown parent because I had it connected to my AirPods and not my mic. Um, well, that happened. So here we are. That's real life. That's here. We recorded for Friday, had the episode ready. I put the episode in Premiere Pro, get ready to start editing, fancying it up, making it look nice. And like I said, I sounded like one of the parents from Charlie Brown. I was just like, wah, oh, wah, wah, wah. Like there was just like you could not like tell anything I was saying. I was so mad, dude. I was so upset. I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now. So the whole episode had no clue, and yeah. So there you go. That's the life lesson of the day. If doing a podcast, make sure that your audio levels are on. It's pretty important. Pretty important, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah. Fairly important.
Jesus
But
Christ. Oh, dude, I can't even tell you how mad I was. Like, I was like, you've got to be joking right now. I was like, that's great. That's absolutely incredible. But tell you what, we're gonna hit the intro. We will be right back,
mhm.
and we're gonna jump into some. We got some awesome stuff for you in the relaunch episode today. We're gonna talk a little March Madness. Where we've been, what we've been doing. We got the meditation minute, of course. And
Class.
we made some, yes, classic. We made some adjustments to the show, and we took the show from an hour and a half to 30 minutes, which we will explain that later. But for now, we will get to the intro, and when we come back, we've got
Oh
some more
man.
on the court, in the booth action,
Dude,
and
I
Trey
I
is
just
sending you
tried
off with a
so
sneeze.
yeah, I tried so hard not to sneeze. Like you could probably see it in
You're
my
like, you're like,
face.
you're like, Wyatt, Wyatt, come on,
Oh,
come on, come on, come on, send it to the intro,
jeez,
send it to the
man.
intro, send it to the intro,
Intro. All right,
intro,
guys.
intro, intro. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, good morning,
Yeah,
good
good morning.
afternoon, good
It is
evening,
seven.
good night,
Yes.
wh-
Right now it is
wherever,
seven
however,
fifty now.
whenever this may be. It's
Yeah,
seven.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
7:50 a.m. and that is because, like I said, you gotta you you gotta turn on the audio before you do the podcast.
Turn on the
It's
audio,
it's
but
it's 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 vitally important. So,
we are
but you
we
know what?
are what time did you go to bed last night, Wyatt?
Oh, dude, like probably 3.
3. Yeah, I went
Something
to bed
like
at
that. Yeah,
1:30.
because I was up watching day 2 of the draft, so I had to see what the Packers were doing. So, which I'm pretty excited, and I feel good overall about how it's gone so far the draft.
Hold on, a Packers fan liking
And
the draft?
oh yeah, no, I know, right? No, day one was a little shaky.
Mhm.
Everybody was
It
expecting a
always
wide
is.
receiver. Yeah, and we got a defensive tackle and a linebacker. Thankfully, though, the defensive tackle that we got, his name is Devontae Wyatt. So I will be purchasing a jersey. I'm gonna have a Packers jersey that says Wyatt on the back of it, and it's not even a custom jersey. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But with that being said, day 2 comes around. We traded up, got Christian Watson, and also got a guard out of UCLA to protect Aaron Rodgers. He played guard, and he played tackle for like 3 years. So he's like super universal. We can throw him anywhere on the offensive line, which is huge because guys get hurt all the time on the offensive line. So for him to be able to go anywhere, that's awesome. But I don't remember his name, but it was a guard out of UCLA, and I watched some tape on him last night, and he is really good. So pumped about that, but even more pumped about some of the cool things that we got to do over the last month. And speaking of cool things we got to do over the last month, Trey, you got to experience one of the greatest things in not just American sports, but like Earth sports. Like you got to participate in something that's like the Rock of Earth. It's like one of the coolest things that we do on the Rock of Earth, being March Madness. So, with that being said, how was March Madness?
It was fun. It was fun. Obviously, the ending wasn't very fun, but overall, it was a good experience.
Sure.
Just kind of getting to scout every team and getting to kind of just enjoy the experience of going to different cities and trying to play our best basketball at the end of the year.
There you go.
You know, obviously, like I said, it
That's
didn't.
what it's all about.
Yeah, it didn't end the way that we wanted it to. But you know, for me personally, I think it was a good experience and useful experience for the future.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. And obviously, like
Plus, we
you
got some
said,
really
it's
cool
it's
gear.
not
We
the
got some really
result.
cool gear too. Um,
Dude, I
oh,
bet the gear you guys got was insane. Yeah, let's peep that gear. Let's see it. Go ahead. Do what? I lost him. I can't hear. But yeah, so oh, what'd you say?
entertained.
Duck, you almost hit your head there.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the things we got. This is a fossil watch. So
this is the infamous watch that I've been hearing about. Here we go. Let's see this.
Watch.
Crack that bad boy open.
Looks
It's like when
nice.
you open it, there's like smoke that comes out, like in the background. That
Sure.
is tough, dude. That is actually a beautiful watch, bro.
Yeah, great watch. Amazing.
That's
watch.
impressive. Are you into watches? That's something I don't know about you. Are you a watch guy?
I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself
Say-
a watch guy.
Say I am now.
Yeah, I am now. Like, I
Yeah.
have to be.
Now that
I
I've
was
got this
forced-
nice fossil.
like I didn't choose the watch life; it chose me, type of thing.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, it's an awesome life to be in, I guess. And that's a stunning watch. That thing is awesome. Have you
Just what an
have you
amazing
worn it
watch.
at all?
No, I haven't.
It's not?
I haven't worn it yet.
You haven't worn it yet? What
I'm too
you
afraid.
mentioned it.
I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid to wear.
Too
the watch.
afraid? I
Yeah.
feel that, dude.
Kinda like
'Cause
when
if
you
scuff
buy-
that, yeah.
An expensive pair of shoes, which personally I've never done.
Yeah, and
But
yeah,
from-
and you here we go. I'm good at this. I used to do this because I used to have J's. And you walk around like this, you like duck wall, you like waddle
yeah, or
around.
you just never, or you
Can't-
never take them
Can't
out of the
crease
box.
them, can't crease them.
Yeah.
Or you just never
Can't
take them
crease
out of the box. That's a good one too. But yeah, so I heard you say a second ago, and now I'm curious too. What was your favorite city and why? I imagine you guys probably didn't get too much time to go around and look, but in the time that you did get, what was your favorite city?
I liked Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. It's a nice city.
Yeah.
Not too far from old Green Bay.
Yeah. We actually had a lot of time during the day. I mean, obviously
Really?
Yeah. Because we practice. Go over film. That's another hour, and then normally the team ate together. So that's max 30, 45 minutes. And so like we had a good 5-6 hours generally at least throughout the day where you kind of could just do whatever you want. Now most of the guys were sleeping, obviously. Or watching film or preparing for the game, but I got to go out and kind of just walk around. So that was pretty cool.
All right. Well, what'd you see? You walked around. Let's hear about the adventure.
I mean,
Coolest
just
thing you
kinda-
saw in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah. The coolest thing? Probably
Yeah.
some of the buildings. I like the architecture in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
know like I've never like been to Milwaukee. I've driven through it and I've driven like around it and stuff. But I've never like actually got out and like been in Milwaukee. But I know from you ready for this? My extensive knowledge of playing NBA 2K and
Mm,
some
yeah.
of the the pre-cut scenes before you play the game where it's like panning around the
Oh,
city and it's like
yes.
beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that stuff. So
Hmm.
so that right there, there's like sculptures on like some waterfront there. I sound like so ignorant right now
Wow.
to Milwaukee. It's bad.
What a
It's so bad.
guy.
But the sculptures that are on the waterfront are really cool looking. I don't know what waterfront it is or where it is, but I'll say they look cool.
For anybody in Wisconsin right now, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um,
here I here I am with all this Packers stuff, and I'm just
yeah.
ticking all of them off.
Although I will
Like, well,
say
you're no longer a Packers fan.
the best quote of the tournament was we were running out for a game in Milwaukee, and uh, it was the Wisconsin game. I forget who played them before us. I believe
It
was it
was
Virginia Tech?
it was either Virginia Tech or it was UCLA, or was it Iowa State? It was one of those three. It was a higher
Yeah,
seeded team.
I don't remember, but
I
anyway,
think it was. Was it Miami?
I have no idea. I don't think it was Miami.
This is gonna bug me. I'm gonna figure this
Okay.
out. Anyways, tell your story, and I'm gonna figure this out.
But so we're about to warm up, for the next game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the players obviously they beat Wisconsin, and so they're running back to the locker room, and one of the players goes, "Go back to Wisconsin" or something like that. But it's like we're in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like
It's like the worst trash talk
that is
ever.
the worst trash talk I have ever heard. Ever.
he couldn't have even looked up
That
like
was
where
awful.
is Wisconsin. Like he couldn't have said like go back to Madison.
Oh yeah.
He said, go
Yeah.
back to Wisconsin.
Go back to
That's great.
Wisconsin.
That's really good actually. That's impressive. Let's see. So Wisconsin, they beat Colgate, and then I think they lost the next game, right? Yeah, to Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah.
So it was an Iowa State player comes in the tunnel, huh? And walks
Mhm.
straight past you guys and says, go back to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You guys are you guys playing in Indianapolis. Go back to Indiana.
Yeah. They really
What?
sent him home.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Yeah. So it
That's
was
great. I'm that disappointed I missed that. That must have been really funny.
dude, I
Um
was cracking up, I'm not gonna lie.
oh, that's that
Wow.
that that sounds funny. That sounds funny. What was it like to see the Cinderella story up close and in person? I mean, all of us got to watch it on television, obviously, and this St. Peter's team that was like just I don't even know what to call them. That was it
Yeah.
was. Do you think it was the greatest Cinderella run of all time
Well, I mean they went the farthest for 15 seed.
for 50? Yeah,
So
yeah,
so I mean technically yes. I also think that um the way that they played, like it made sense that they were there too. Like some teams, um, either they shoot the ball really well and that's how they get an upset. You know what I mean? Like sometimes things just
right,
happen and it is just random.
sure,
Um, but they played really good. Um, and they didn't just shoot. I mean, obviously their offense is kind of built around um, highly efficient shots. But at the same time, like they're not just running down the floor and shooting contested threes and then praying that they go in. Um, they actually ran an
right,
offense and so there was two parts. First off, it was horrible because obviously we got upset by them. So you're a part of kind of that
sure.
Cinderella story. Um, and so that was kind of disappointing, especially like knowing how hard the guys worked throughout the year, and then
That had to be
kind
a
of seeing
bummer.
it, yeah, kind of seeing it us lose like that. But then the other part was like it was informative to see kind of like what their standards were, what their kind of culture was at St. Peter's. Like they weren't for a team that, I think they're one of the smallest schools in the tournament.
Hmm.
as far as actual size of the school. Like they weren't nervous or frightened at all. And so like kind of seeing
Yeah.
that almost like a David and Goliath story, um, kind of seeing that up close was kind of it was cool. And like I said, obviously like you, you have to, I guess, let it be known that it was cool, but also it does suck at the same time. You know what I mean? So it was
Sure.
one of those situations where like it was kind of both. But it was interesting. So I think the whole tournament was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it was. I'll tell you from an outside perspective, it was a great tournament. It was a lot of fun to watch, and like I say, like you said, obviously not the result that everybody was gunning for, or at least the Purdue faithful were gunning for, but a all around awesome tournament. I cannot complain. Like everything down to like even the national championship was awesome. I called that comeback too, by the way. I was at my friend's house, and Nikki's sister was in town, so we went to one of my neighbors' houses to watch it because she has two little daughters, and they were sleeping. So I'm a loud sports fan. I'm a
Yeah, I
loud
don't know how
sports
that worked out.
watcher. Yeah. So like I'm not gonna sit in here and scream or anything, and that's just an a-hole move. So I'm not doing that. So I went to like one of my neighbors' houses and watched it. And at halftime, he's like a big better. And I was talking to him. He was like, and he doesn't know much about sports. He just loves betting on sports.
Hmm.
And so he was
That's
asking
everybody
everybody
though.
because it was
That's
a bunch
that's
of
that's
yeah, that's
most
true.
people
That's
who
true.
bet.
That's true. That's true. But it's me and a couple other sportscasting friends are all sitting around. So he's in a room full of five other guys who know a lot about sports. Excuse me. So right there is the perfect time to ask any questions you got. So he's like, I'm thinking about live betting Carolina. And everybody's like, oh yeah, yeah, that's a safe bet. Just throw it on it. And I was like, no, do not. And he's like, why not? I'm like, because if you look at it statistically,
First off, that's a horrible
Kansas
bet
is in yes, that's what I'm
because
saying. It was a
like
terrible bet.
they were winning. Like I feel like you wouldn't get as much
Yeah, well,
return.
you wouldn't, but it's like that's how he bets. It's the guaranteed return. So like while he
Okay.
may only win $15, it's better than losing. It's better
Well,
than nothing or
how
not
much is he
getting
betting?
only like $20. Oh my god, I think. No, I take it back. I actually know exactly what he
Yeah, you
betted.
would have to bet a
He
lot,
betted
right?
he he ended up throwing. He was going to throw $35 at it, and I stopped him. And I was like, "Wait, do not do that because Kansas is a much better second half team, and they're gonna come back. Like this Kansas team is way too just fundamentally sound across the board. They can score a lot of points defensively. They're great, and like I told him, they're a great second half team. So if you're gonna live bet anybody, I was like, throw it on the spread for Kansas because at that time the spread was like they were down by like almost 20 at halftime, 15, 16, something like that at halftime, and the spread was like 12 points, I think. So I'm like,
Mhm.
Kansas will bring it back closer than 12 points. So take that and put 35 on it. And he's like, okay. So he does it, and Kansas comes roaring back, and they end up winning. And he's going nuts. This guy won like $150, something like that.
Wow.
And I was like, we were all making jokes. We were like,
Did
dude,
you get a cut?
without Kansas, no, no. I didn't want to
Oh,
ask for that.
wow.
It's yeah.
Wow.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. No, I'm just
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a cut. No, I wouldn't do that to Mike. But he uh he got like I said, he got like almost, if not almost $150 back, something like that. It was a nice little
That's
payout. I
awesome.
was like,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. I think so overall, I think his total payout with his money that he put in back was like 171, I think, something like that. But I think on the money he made, it was like almost, or it was 150, something like that. But yeah, he got a nice little payout there. That was nice. And I kept on making jokes. I'm like, dude, you have to get a Kansas national champion shirt. Like, you have to. And
Yeah.
he's like, why? I'm like, because they just won you $150. Like,
Yeah.
you have to. It's just a thing. You just got to do it. He's like, okay, I need to actually ask him about that. I don't think he ever did that. I don't think he ever. I need to ask about that. But anyways, the big question that everybody is asking, other than March Madness and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where have we been and what have we been doing? I'll let you take over that one first.
Okay. Well, me, like, I finally got 100% healthy, and so like I'm just like getting back
Let's
into
go.
like live things, like live practice and live workouts and such. So kind of just ramping back up and being able to give my 100% into improving instead of like that 100% to rehab. So that's I'm so excited for next year and kind of just ready to put in the work and like I said, get ready. That's pretty much all I've been doing. Let's see. Dude, I lost in cornhole yesterday.
You lost in cornhole yesterday?
Yeah.
Who'd you lose to?
So I lost to Brady and Coach Johnson, which I mean they're two. Brady's the kind of strength and conditioning coach at Purdue, and Coach Johnson's one of the coaches. But it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie.
It was an unfortunate L, huh?
because
do they talk about it now? They're going to talk about that going forward.
You guys that don't know, we went to Coach Painter's house, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but we went to Coach Painter's house, and it was kind of just like a get together.
Here we go.
But yeah, and I'm going to continue.
Breaking news on the court in the booth: Coach Matt Painter's holding illegal Purdue meetings at
exactly
his house. No, I'd imagine there's. I mean, I don't want to be wrong when I say this, but there can't be any problem with that. You should be fine to say that.
Oh yeah, no. I was saying I just didn't tell you. I didn't tell you I was going to bring this up before. Anyway, so we were at the gathering, and it was first place got $150 for the winner of this cornhole tournament. Yeah.
Did you get second?
No, we lost first round. It was me and Mason. So lost first round, took the L. So I didn't flex my Sellersburg roots. Like typically us.
Yeah, you fumbled the bag on this one, man. What's going on?
Fumbled the bag. I don't know. I mean,
there's corn in that bag. You're from Indiana, all right?
Yeah.
You should be one with the corn, all right?
All of the ping pong and like shuffleboard and bingo and cornhole, like I have to be the best at those things, or else I'm like not considered.
You piss me off every time we play little dumb games like that.
Yeah,
because like 100%. You're cracked at them. You are cracked at them. Like I'm like, oh, here we go, just a nice little enjoying game of ping pong, and here you are like, pew, 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 pew. And I'm like, what just happened? I can't even get the ball back across and on the table.
Because it's Sellersburg. There's nothing else to do. I mean, it's like practice basketball and play. I'm not gonna say dumb.
You were like Forrest Gump. You were like Forrest Gump in the gym. You were out there. Yeah, you were like Forrest Gump in the gym. You were out there taking shots, and then you'd come over to the side and just play ping pong with yourself against the board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Forrest Gump?
Yeah. So you get your workout in, and then you go in. You set half the table up, and then you're Forrest Gump ping pong.
There you go. That right there is how you do it. Well, for me, pretty much this last month, I am going to give you the most we just got like March Madness. You've been playing bags, hanging out at Coach Painter's house with everybody. You're 100% healthy. You got all these great answers. I've been doing school and a lot of school, dude.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of school. Yeah. And I currently just finished my Project and Portfolio 2 class, which is a class where like it's super involved with the camera and like doing stand-ups, which I'm not kidding you. Like the hardest thing to do in the sports casting industry is a stand up. Like where it is microphone, camera, and like you don't have a script, you don't have anything. And I know this sounds weird when I say this, but it is easier to do when you're live because I don't know how to explain it. You just like there's just something that happens whenever you've been doing this for a while. Whenever you're live, you just don't make a lot. You don't make the same mistakes. Obviously everybody makes mistakes, but you're not gonna freeze up. You're not gonna get confused. You're gonna keep talking. You're gonna keep going. But when there's no script and you're not live, you go until you feel like it's perfect. So if you stutter, you want to restart.
You want
If
to
you
restart, yeah.
forget the script, you want to restart. If you do something wrong, you want to restart. If you cough, you want like literally anything, you got to restart. So it's like
Yeah.
that it was a lot of fun because I enjoy doing stand-ups. Don't get me wrong, they're hard, but I really enjoy doing them. Especially like because like this last month, I've got to do some really cool things. Like we went to our teachers would release us out of class early and we would all go and do stand-ups at the local golf courses, at local football fields, at all kinds of stuff. So that was really cool and that was a lot of fun. But pretty much that's like I said, that's about as dangerous as I've been getting. Haven't been doing much. My family came in town for a little bit. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Leroy came in town for like 3 weeks, dude. I got to spend 3 weeks in this apartment, this tiny little apartment with Leroy, two of his friends, Landon and Joe, who you've met. They both came in town. Um,
That's
Bison
scary.
came in town. My buddy Bison came down. Harsh, our boy Harsh, came
Harsh,
down.
the man, the myth,
That
the
was
legend.
awesome. I was so excited to meet him finally. That was so
Mm.
cool. We went and got ice cream. Uh, and then let's see,
What
I
flavor
think
did he
that's
get?
all that came
What
down.
flavor did you get?
So we went to I shouldn't say ice cream. We got Italian ice. So down here there's two really good ice cream places. There's one that's called Jeremiah's, and they do like Italian ice mixed with soft serve ice cream, and it is one of the greatest things that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And then there's Twisty Treat. And Twisty Treat is like this. You ever been in like a touristy area like Orlando and
Yeah,
seen like the giant ice cream cones? And that's an ice
yeah,
cream place
yeah.
called. They're always called like Twisty Treat, something like that. Well, we got one of those down here, and it's actually like really good. So I took him to Jeremiah's because you can get Twisty Treat in any city, and you guys aren't
Anywhere.
far from Indy. There's a bunch of them up there, so you can go to that. There's not a Jeremiah's. Jeremiah's is only like local to the area. So
Mhm.
I took him there, and he got I think he got the same thing I did. I'm pretty sure. So, and I got a cookies and cream layer in. So it's cookies and cream, Italian ice, and chocolate vanilla swirled ice cream and Oreo pieces in it.
Oh
It's
my
all like mixed up.
gosh.
It's like
Oh my
diabetes in a
gosh,
cup.
man.
Like you need your insulin shot after. It's pretty incredible, honestly. It's something wild. But we have been going. I just realized for 28 minutes.
Yeah, I was looking at that time.
We
It's
we moved the episode to 30. So we're gonna move it back just a little bit to 40 because I want to make sure we squeeze in meditation minute for everybody. And then there are two things that we gotta talk about. So with that being said, we're gonna run a meditation minute real quick. So everybody enjoy that. That's gonna be awesome. And then when we come back, there's some pretty wild news. But we'll cover that when we get back. So stay tuned.
stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. Stay tuned. Is my mic on? Is it? Do you hear?
Yeah. Mic is on.
Mic is on, but that's not meditation minute. That Oh, we
That was
turned around at
perfect.
the
That was
same
awesome.
time.
Wow.
That was incredible.
Wow.
That was awesome. Let's go. All right. Well, I mean, that
Before we
was
get into some of the stuff that like some of the topics we're gonna cover after this, we did want to kind of give an update on the schedule and format is why it was talking about. So what are the things that we're gonna have? Obviously, this is the first kind of resurfacing episode or what you want to call it, but
yeah.
from now on, I think
Yeah.
we're going to we saw some of your guys' comments and we kind of reformatted the show. So what do we have?
Yeah, so pretty much not only did we add a bunch of new segments, new aspects to the show, um the big thing is we're moving although we're at 31 minutes now. It's the comeback episode. So we'll scratch it for this one time.
Comeback.
But although I've listened to a lot of feedback since we've started, and I've listened to a lot of feedback, not from all the viewers, as well as some people in the industry who I've talked to, and pretty much everybody's had the one same critique on the show is that it was too long. There was too much there. So we've condensed the episode. I looked at the analytics of the show, and at the 30-minute mark, pretty much was where our viewers are pretty much just deplete. So with seeing that, we have decided to move the show to 30 minutes to make it a little bit more, I guess, condensed.
Yeah.
So and with
easy.
that, yeah, and with that, we are going to be releasing 1 to 3 episodes every single week, and then once basketball season starts, obviously it'll go down to most likely just one a week. But for the time being, we've moved it to a 30-minute episode, 1 to 3 a week, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, and
Yeah.
let's see. Let me get back to the
I think
rundown.
some of the topics that we thought about discussing, probably some type of well, first off, basketball. We'll keep basketball in. It's obviously on the court
Yeah.
in the booth. But another one's going to be kind of like almost like a philosophical or kind of like deep discussion. Just because
We
like
both like the deep talk.
yeah. And Wyatt and I, that's normally like we'll get on the phone sometimes for 45 minutes and just randomly start.
That's what the authentic Wyatt and Trey conversation looks like. If you want to know what
Yeah.
we're talking about at 3:00 in the morning, it's the cube. So
Yeah.
if
Just
you know what the cube is, just look up the cube. Just look up the cube.
look up the cube.
Just look up the cube.
So we're gonna do that. Obviously, keep the meditation minute in, and then the 1 minute challenge, which last episode we recorded, but we didn't have.
We did.
We did record it, but obviously I came back home, and so I'm like Harsh wasn't available.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do some post editing. I'm gonna take the 1 minute challenge and fit it in. So don't tell them what happened. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna
okay.
try to edit it in because.
But the key is
Fair warning: audio is gonna be horrible. Like
That's fine.
horrible.
So basically, the whole point of the 1 minute challenge is randomly throughout the episode, and it can't be during the intro and it can't be during the meditation minute.
Yep.
Nikki is going to come in and say, just go. And then whatever the challenge is for that day, we're going to tell you what we're going to tell you what it is before. We're just going to start doing it.
Man. It just like in the middle of it doesn't matter what we're talking about, what we're doing, anything we drop.
Yeah.
Everything in the challenge commences. We go.
Exactly.
Boom,
exactly.
on it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think we're going to also release merch sometime soon.
Yes, that's the big news
That's
too.
That's another piece of big news. But on to the rundown.
Yes. So the last thing here before we hop off, I got to get your reaction from this. And this is something that both of us were big believers in these two teams. heading into the season. What in the world happened to the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, the Los Angeles Lakers, not gonna lie, it was just kind of disappointing. Like I don't know, it wasn't as much of a. I mean, there were some X and O's things, but obviously, they didn't get a chance to play together as much as they wanted to.
Right.
They didn't gel as much as they wanted to. And so, like, you can look at all the, like I said, the X's and O's with Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and how they're going to get shooters around them and
Right.
spacing and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you do have Russell Westbrook, you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis, you have Melo whenever he checks in, and you've got good players around them. So, like, normally good players just kind of find a way to win, and that didn't happen this year. So that's kind of what happened for the Lakers. But don't worry, they'll definitely be back next year. And then the Nets. I actually picked the Celtics to win it all
I like that. I
series.
knew that. I knew you had
Yeah,
that pick. I like that pick.
I didn't know they were going to
I
sweep the Nets, but
I don't think the Celtics knew they were going to sweep the Nets.
yeah,
I don't think Jason Tatum knew that they were going to sweep the Nets. But with the Lakers, it almost seemed, not almost. It was just like they had more starting lineups than wins this year. It was just like there were too many distributors, and they didn't have enough catch and shoot guys. With those distributors, they didn't have enough shoot guys at all. That
yeah,
was really the main knock on them at the beginning of the year was it's a 3-point shooting league. You guys don't have any 3-point shooters pretty much.
yeah,
What are you going to do? And they're like, "Oh, well, we have LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook." And while all three of those guys in their prime and healthy, I agree with you. I think that is a killer lineup. And you got Carmelo Anthony, who has a decent 3-point shot. Throw him in there as well. But it was the straw that broke the camel's back. It seemed like every single game. It was like even if LeBron was putting up, and not I take that back. LeBron had to put up 50 points a game for them to win.
yeah.
And I just felt like that had to be so frustrating. And it's just Anthony Davis, while he is one of the top players in the NBA right now, he just had some injury issues this year. Russell Westbrook is a great all-around player and a great person, I would assume, but it just didn't really click this year for him. And I hate that for him because I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan. I love watching him play. I love his game. I love the ferocity that he has when he drives to the hoop. I love the distributor that he is. He's not selfish with the basketball. I mean, the guy can, if he's on his own, the guy can average a triple double in and out every night, and we've seen him do that. So I was more just like you said. I was just disappointed. I was just really like, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, I figured at some point that the tires were spinning, and at some point they had to catch and they had to go. But it was just they just kept spinning. It was like spin, 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 and
Yeah,
then
like
we
I said,
started.
like
Go ahead.
no, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Oh, you're good.
like I said, there are a bunch of reasons that you could point at, like why it didn't work out. Obviously, said the shooting was a big kind of kind of red flag. Even at the beginning of the year, people were like, "How is this team going to work with the lack of shooters?" But
Right.
again, when you have LeBron James, you have Russell, you have Anthony Davis, like if those guys are healthy, you should be fine. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And so like I don't think we're going to see that again in the future, to be honest. Like I
Like
said,
super teams or
no, like that team not being able to make the playoffs.
oh, okay.
Like if those guys play a significant amount of games together, if those guys, I mean, it's the same thing for the Nets almost. Like obviously, Kyrie wasn't there all the time. You had some injuries with the team, and so like getting getting everybody to gel, like that's such an important part of being on a basketball team. And like not being able to play together. Like if those teams do that, then like I said, they're champion favorites. And
Sure.
so like, but that when that doesn't happen, it kind of you leave it up to more of the X's and O's. You leave it up to more of some of the other things, the chemistry with teams who may have lesser talent, but are just there, or just more consistent at just being there. So, man, obviously, it's unfortunate if you're a Lakers fan. It's unfortunate if you're a Nets fan, but like I said, don't worry. Those teams will definitely be back, barring they obviously get all the players that they have back. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a great first episode back. I
yep,
am super pumped for the future here at On the Court in the Booth. We hit 30,000 viewers total across for our entire brand while we were away at March Madness, and that is incredible. So like we always say, want to remind everybody again, we appreciate you guys for taking times out of your busy lives, schedules, work lives, everything going on right now, to hear us just sit over here and be goofy and have fun. So
yep.
appreciate that as always. And
Mhm.
Trey, any closing remarks before we sign off here, buddy?
No, just keep on commenting, keep on giving us feedback, because like I said, at the end of the day, the show is for you.
Yeah,
So, well, I say that it is obviously fun to sit up here and talk to Wyatt, but like like I said, it is for you in a sense that like depending on what you guys want, like we're willing to do. So. We hope this new
absolutely.
format works. But like I said, if it doesn't, or you guys have any other suggestions, or anything you'd like us to, whether it be topics or again the time control, or just any suggestions overall, just let us know, and we'll adjust. So that's about all
Absolutely.
for me. Great first show back. Um, and the last thing was we were thinking about maybe once a month doing a longer live show. So that's another thing that we
Yeah.
were, well, maybe just like an hour, Wyatt and I get on, and kind of just
And we can
answer
even
any
do that on
questions.
Instagram Live. We can do that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And really anything. We can make it work.
Just kind of, yeah. So just kind of let us know, what you guys think. So obviously Wyatt's going to, this episode's about to be an hour when you think about it. No, probably not an hour, but it'll be, what,
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
It'll
Yeah.
hit that
So,
45 mark probably.
but
So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and closing remarks.
nope, that's it.
That's all. All right. Have a good week, you guys, and we will see you on the next edition of On the Court in the Booth.
See ya.